Cesar, welcome to our podcast. We're going to be talking about AI and really specifically AI and SEO, but we might dive into other topics around AI. It's a really huge, especially since last year with ChatGPT, AI has really kind of come on the scene very aggressively, fast and furious. And I know here in Bipper Media, we have equally embraced at a very fast and furious pace the world of AI, but that's what we're here for. Talk a little bit about it and share our views, and we'll dive into it. So I guess let me just start with asking Cesar, what is your overall thoughts on AI?
Well, I'm glad that we're doing this podcast because, as you know, in several of our meetings, I don't technically hate AI, but I kind of miss the human element of writing. So again, I don't hate it. I understand the necessity for it. I understand how Google's ranking AI now. And, it's still in the infant stages, if we can say that. But, call me stupid. I watch too much Matrix and Terminator, and I don't want AI to take over everything. I know that's kind of dumb, because hopefully it doesn't happen. But, again, I see the pros in it, but I guess I miss the old school of, having just writers that are very well-established writers. They form original content, and then we're able to plug in a lot of more SEO-driven keywords. And I know that AI does that, but not to get ahead of myself, I kind of feel like right now it's might water down in some of the service industries. So that's where I'm at with AI right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that makes sense. Again, here in Bipper Media, like 2 years ago, I don't even think we had an AI tool to even use. So this is a very new thing, and we have embraced it very quickly. I definitely understand your points. They're concerns, and they're obvious, and that's only smart to have concerns like that. When it comes to our client production work, one of the reasons I'm so excited, about our use, there's a million use cases like with AI, but including robots taking over the world. Like, I guess that's
pretty
another
much
use case. But in our world, the content, it's really the data. Like, one thing I keep coming back to is the data richness, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you do the right query with the AI tool, whether it's Bard or ChatGPT, if you do the right query, you can get really data-rich content very quickly, like almost instantly, that would potentially take a human writer, I don't know, a day, a week or something, to do the equivalent level research to get the data that you get instantly from, and again, it depends on the type of query that you make,
right,
to generate the output. But that's one of the things I get most excited about. And because you can produce it so quickly, now to your point, we can take that content and then send it to the human writer, to the amazing people on our team who now take that AI generated piece of content and fix things, address things, things of that nature. So
yeah, you pretty much took the point that I was going to make about the only reason I like using AI with us is because we do send it to a lot of our writers, a lot of good writers that we have that will put in the human element on it. Because one of the things I noticed when it first came out was the repetitiveness, and I'm sure a lot of people out there that are using AI can see the repetitiveness of the content. I'll give you an example. If we're writing a blog for an HVAC company that we have, let's just say, it'll say HVAC companies are very reliable because instead of doing the work yourself, they can go out and assess the situation. And then a few paragraphs down, with HVAC companies, they're professionals and they know how to get that. And then HVAC, and it's like the same thing over and over, and it's kind of like someone rambling. I know they've done steps to fix it, and again, that's why I love that our writers can take it and they change it. And one of the things I did read about Google, so Google is ranking AI content as long as it's valuable content and it's keyword rich content. It also penalizes and ranks lower pages for the repetitiveness, and then the content is not there. So a lot of people might think, and I used to think this, I can just go into ChatGPT is one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just put like a quick subject, and it does spit out. But that's why there was a lot of repetitiveness, because one of the things I was afraid of is, well, are our clients going to start using that instead of using us?
Right.
You know, but it takes a lot more than just put in like HVAC service. It's HVAC services with specific other keywords, location driven stuff. And so in that sense, it is working, and it is efficient. I mean, it's a lot more efficient than having to tell a client, hey, you know, it's going to take at least, 4 weeks before we can have, 5 blogs for you. With AI, we can do it a lot quicker. But again, I get a little worried about it. I don't know where it's headed at this point. So
I like your point on the repetitive aspect, and really how that repetitive, the repetitiveness of it really ultimately makes it what Google sees as not a high quality.
Right.
And that, to me, like as you were talking, I don't remember the update. It was a really big deal with one of the Google algorithm updates maybe a couple years ago, where the EAT acronym, EAT.
Yes, I do
and
remember that.
They, talked about how, Google's, how they articulate one of their algorithm updates. This EAT acronym became a big component of that, and it really just stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and the trustworthiness, as the litmus test that you should use to look at your content. Are you producing content that's potentially seen as an expertise type of, by an expert? Is it authoritative, and is it trustworthy, right? And as you were talking about the repetitiveness, clearly if you're publishing something that has it's saying the same thing just in different ways over and over and over again, it's not going to meet that mold of the EAT acronym. It's anybody who sees it is not going to be, they're not going to think it's written by an expert. It's not going to be seen as authoritative, nor trustworthy. And that was really the point that Google made with this acronym, is that if it doesn't meet this criteria, then your content needs to be improved. And likewise with AI, if you're using AI and you're just taking this repetitive, content and publishing it, that EAT acronym is really a good filter mechanism to assess, should you be publishing this or not? Because if you do, which obviously a lot of people are now, en masse, and Google's just they're not I wouldn't say they're necessarily penalizing, but nobody's gaining traction from that type of content. It's just going nowhere, right? Versus what you were talking about, if you produce, one of the reasons I mentioned is the data-rich content. But if you take a data-rich piece of content and then the people on our content team takes it and refines it even further, now it is meeting that filter of the EAT acronym of expertise, authoritative, trustworthiness with data-rich content. I think that's one of the reasons we see, and our clients see the success that they see with AI-generated content.
Yeah, and to make this point, I mean, talking about Google's algorithm, they're going to come out with more again. I think they came up with a new one 2 days ago, I believe. And everybody has no idea what Google algorithm is, and only the people at Google do it. But to go back to your point, and this is the one thing I will give AI credit for, is if we hired a writer just to write criminal law, criminal justice attorney or anything, they have to do their research. So AI is already kind of doing the research for you. One thing I have noticed with marketing companies, and I'm not going to mention any, Google knows when it's AI written, but that at the bottom it says powered by AI.
Yeah.
Some people have just copied and paste, and Google knows. So the reader might not know, but Google does know. So there's no way to get around the fact that Google is going to analyze that content. Like you said, EAT, and that's perfect. That's a perfect point you make. And so the only thing is, and there's one thing that I love that we do here at Pepper Media, when anything new comes out and we start using it, because there's nothing wrong with using the technologies that are given to you. we do analyze how these pages rank. We do analyze to see what impact it's doing, negative or positive, to our clients. And so I think it was a couple of months ago we started noticing, like, and I forgot who it was, or even in our own site, we noticed the traffic wasn't, I know we're rebuilding the site, but the traffic wasn't what it was before. And I think we started using a different form of AI. I don't remember. I'm getting older. I just don't remember these things. But yeah, in that aspect, I don't mind using it. And, you know, it is to help out as many clients as possible. So.
Well, the other thing we see, like in our site and with our clients, is the consistency of production.
Yeah.
And that's something that AI can't necessarily solve, right? Like a business or some other agency, whatever, can all of a sudden wake up this morning and have this like huge surge of like production.
Yeah.
Hundreds of articles, but then, you know, 3 weeks later, nothing else has been done.
Yeah.
And then next month, 2 months, 3 months later, nothing's been done. It violates that principle of consistent production. And even though you may, with AI, be able to come out with a huge surge of amount of content, you know, like we see really with Bipper Media site, with our clients, is the consistency over time. And that's really what, along with the EAT acronym, you know, the authoritativeness and the quality of the content, the consistent production over time is really the kind of indicators that Google uses to, you know, really decide, is this site trustworthy enough to be ranking their content?
Yeah.
And so really that's really not even necessarily an AI point. It's really more a strategy long term.
Yes, because we've always talked about this. Content is king in Google, especially in the SEO world of Google. And we tell our clients all the time, you got to have more content on your site. And so AI does help the efficiency and the production level and all that stuff. And so, again, I know I started off with saying I don't like it. It's not that I don't like it. I'm just a little weary on it because it's so new.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is going to get watered down, especially with people just thinking, oh, I'm just going to plug it. And going back to your consistency, it's another thing we tell our clients. Like, they're like, well, I can write my own blogs. I'm like, yeah, but you don't. You don't write your own blogs. And we know that because we can see that you posted January 2023 and you just posted January 2024. Unless your consistency is once a year, good job. So it does help. It does help them be more visible. So
yeah, I mean, that's the, you know, the AI component. It's really just a, you know, I think it like in our use case, it's really, I think, best seen as a complementary, tool that we use to serve not only Bipper Media, but our clients. You know, it complements the human kind of art that only a human person can like deploy, so to speak. The AI is just complementing. It's a complementary tool, is really the way I think about it.
All right, you got me. When you said complimentary, I'm like, all right, I can't.
See, I knew that would get.
You did.
Knew that
it is complimentary. If you say it that way, that's fine.
End of argument. Complimentary. Nothing else. No.
You win.
So
I've changed my mind. I love AI now.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's a fair point. Like, because it's so fluid.
Yeah.
And for the most part free, and can just produce at massive scales. I mean, it's, you know, it's just a ripe environment for, you know, a lot of low quality content to be published. But then again, that's kind of the benefit of the Google, like the refinement, if you will, of the Google algorithm.
Yeah.
You know, you can publish 1 million pieces of content through AI, but if it's not meeting the quality standard, you know, which, you know, I'd say we've been doing SEO for a long time. You know, 10 years ago, it's probably a good thing AI didn't exist, because 10 years ago, you could have produced all that content, you know, and it probably do really well.
Right.
But today, you know, the algorithm will just filter that, you know, it'll just filter that low quality content out. So
sometimes it filters too much.
Sometimes it's too much.
And then, but Google does fix it.
Yeah.
Eventually, but
yeah. So you know, the good thing is our team, like an example of our team, our content team, having that human element to analyze and take, the AI generated content and now make it refined in quality and remove things like redundancy and whatnot. That's how, again, the complementary use of AI is how it benefits. So
You're just throwing that word out.
I see my leverage. That's nothing else to be said.
And our director of content does a good job of making sure that everything has a human aspect behind it.
Yeah.
She's incredible.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
she's my wife, but still.
You're not biased whatsoever.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't even know if she's going to watch this or not. So.
Probably not.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know, Cesar. Do you have anything else?
No, I think it's a good. I think it's just a good discussion. I think in the long run we have to stay up with technology, and a lot of marketing companies are using it. I wonder. I know this is outside of SEO, but I wonder how the education system is handling it. Because now you have a lot of people writing their essays or their thesis using AI, and so
AI. It's a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
But for us, like you said, it's complementary to our work. So,
but that in all honesty, that to me defines technology as a whole.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Technology is a complementary tool, not to replace, but to
enhance.
Right. So
I'll take that one.
There you go.
All right.
So anyway, Cesar, thank you so much for joining this debate. We didn't argue like I thought we would. I came with my gloves on.
Hey, it's not a team meeting. At the team meeting, we argue in front of everybody.
That's true. So thank you all for watching, tuning in, listening. If you want to learn more about how we are leveraging in very large form in fashion, leveraging AI content production for our clients, and not just for our clients, but for Bipper Media as well. Reach out to us, schedule a call. We would love to show you and tell you how we can help enhance your business as well with AI content. So
awesome.